Hello everyone, welcome to Recursive Gaming and another video for Iron Saga. In this video I'm going to be tackling the subject of how to figure out which mechs you should invest in for your team. You're looking at the mechs in your hangar and you're like, this mech looks really cool. I just got this mech, it's an event mech, or this mech looks really cool. I only have copies of this mech and I can only get this one to 5-star. What are the upgrades I should search for if you just got your second copy of a Galahad, for instance, and you're like, what's the best upgrade to get it 6-star? You could look through the reviews and figure it out, and sometimes you might find a comment where people are telling you the upgrade path and what's the best upgrade to get of what things. You're like, do I want the weapon? Do I want the ability? Do I want the chassis effect? What should I do? So because you don't have enough copies or resources to test it out by building it yourself, how do you test out these mechs when you can't build them? Okay, so I'm going to tackle that subject today, as well as how to test which mechs are best for you here as well. Which should I pull for? What's best, right? You can look up a tier list, but that information can be hard to find online. So how do I find out what's the best mech for me to pull on these banners? Is it just what I like? In general, it should be what you already have at least one copy of, so that way you can be guaranteed every one that you pull is going to be another copy and therefore closer to getting a retrofit. You need a full 6 copies of a mech, or 6 total. You need 6 total, 1 and then 5 copies of a mech in order to get it to 9-star, and you have to get a mech to 9-star so that you can go here to retrofit and retrofit your mechs. You can start doing this at level 28. Retrofits are where you get the most powerful mechs in the game, and it's basically taking a max 9-star mech or tank or airplane and then turning it into something better, a better version of itself. And sometimes this is a completely radical change, such as taking an airplane and changing it into a mech, or a tank and changing it into a mech, where before it was not useful and it was not good. After the retrofit, suddenly it's fantastic and really good. But how do I tell what's good? You can click here, right? It's difficult to do. Well, I did it on the first try that time, but sometimes it could be difficult to do on a phone. I'm using an emulator right now, so maybe it's easier with a mouse. But anyways, you come here to this screen, and you're like, you read the reviews, but they don't necessarily tell you what you want, okay? And you go down here to test. This is how you can tell what to do. All right, so this is a decent arena where you can see, right? You can open fire, whatever. They're fighting back now. You can find out if the upgrade for the weapon is better than the ability or vice versa, because here it has all the upgrades. This is a max 9-star mech. Okay, so this is not the retrofit version, but you can test retrofit versions as well, but you have to go to the retrofit page and then click on them and then click on the testing arena from within their retrofit page to test their retrofitted version. So you can test any mech in the game at any upgrade level you want. Okay, so this is how you test mechs you don't have. Mechs that are not in your Mechpedia. Okay, so most of the time when you test a mech that you have in your mech bay, right, you can't test it necessarily fully built. Like, you can't test a fully built Galahad from the retrofit because it doesn't have a retrofit. You can't test a fully fit Galahad from the store like we just did for the Changshen. So how do you test your Galahad to figure out how you should upgrade it? Well, you go to Pedia. Okay, go to Hangar, go to Pedia, you go to Mecha, and then you find your mech and you figure out which one you should do. Okay, so this is also how you test which of your mechs you like the best at max star, which one you should focus on. Here it has all the upgrades. It has both chassis improvements, it has full armor, it has all the upgrades for the weapons, and it also has all of the upgrades for the abilities. So you come here and you say, is Night System really the what I should be going for, or should I be going for Wrist Pulse Gun Group? You wait here and you watch. Okay, so that's the Wrist Pulse Gun Group. That doesn't look that impressive. It's just firing a couple of small lasers. That's not really helping out with damage that much. Let's see if Night System is any better. So you're waiting, wait for it to use Night System. There we go. That was awesome. Okay, so obviously Night System is better than the upgrades for the weapons. So when I get my Galahad to 6-star, I should get Night System. Awesome. So now you know what to do. If you couldn't find your answers in the reviews, if you couldn't find the information online, you can find it out yourself by going to your Mechpedia for any mech that you own, and seeing what it will do at full upgrade. This is how you can tell what's better between what upgrade you should choose. And this is basically use the testing arena from your Mechpedia to use your fully upgraded mechs and see the upgrade path, right? Is the Kamui a decent mech? Most people say it's okay, right? The retrofit makes it usable. So you come here and you'd be like, should I get the duration of drone? Should I get normal damage taken? Should I get the second weapon? Should I get drone rapid fire? Let's test it. You don't have to put any resources into it. You can just test it fully upgraded here and see how good it is. Let's wait until we get to drone rapid fire. The Kamui is doing about 600 default DPS without upgrades from pilot and items. There we go. Look at all these drones. Look at how fast they're firing. So much DPS coming out. We're up to 700 now. That's not that great. Can't A rank mechs do just as much? Maybe, but with pilots and items you can actually improve this quite a bit. So it may not seem like much for an S rank mech, but when all those drones are out doing their damage, and you've got the right pilot taking advantage of that with the right item builds, it can be very impressive. The Kamui can output a lot of DPS with the right build. So anyways, that is how you can test your mechs that you have in your Mechpedia. And you've already discovered how to test which mechs you want by clicking here in the middle. If you can't find the mech, so for instance, if we are looking at a sun badge, this is a big question a lot of people come up with, how to tell what I'm going to do here. You get a sun badge as a reward from this event. You get a sun badge as a reward for your newbie missions. Here, beginner missions, here at the end, you get another sun badge. You can get a total of 2 or 3 sun badges for free just from events as a newcomer. So what do you spend your sun badge on? Let's go to the reward list. Look at all these mechs to choose from. What is the best mech for me to pick? I can find a tier list, but it's out of date. I've already got 1 copy of 2 of these, but I want a better version. Do I go with the Blackwing because I can get multiple from an event? Is it worth it? Do I get an Epiest? I don't know how to say that. Do I get a Fenrir? Do I get an Order? So you come in here, you just click on it, right? You can test it to see. So if you are trying to figure out what you want from the sun badge, you can just click on any of these mechs and then you can go to the test. Now later, if you're level 28 and above, and you want to see if a mech is decent with a retrofit, you just come to develop and you go to retrofit. Okay, here is where you can find the retrofit for any of these mechs we're talking about and see if they are worth it. You just click on the icon you see for the mech, you go to its retrofit version, and then you click test to go to the testing arena and see if the retrofit is any better. Okay, you can also look up reviews. The reviews that you see when you're looking at the mech are going to be different depending on which version of the mech you're looking at. If you're looking at the retrofit version of the mech, you will see the version of the reviews for that retrofit. So then you can get even more information that way. So I hope this helps you guys discover and figure out which mechs you want to invest in when you're looking at pulling which mechs to get from the sun badge rewards, which mechs to get copies of in the arena. If we go to the arena, right, we come down here. When you pick these, there's all different sorts of ways to get copies of mechs in the game. And how do you figure out which ones are worth investing in? Honestly, it just takes testing and research. You got to figure it out for yourself. You can find tier lists, but a lot of the tier lists online are out of date. And the tier lists are dependent on item builds. And as a new player, you will not have all the items you need to make these builds work. So you may get a perfect mech that you think is going to do great. Let's say you get a Lancelot, you get it fully built and you get it retrofitted, but it's doing less damage than some of your other mechs. And you're like, I put all this work into this Lancelot. How come it's not performing at the level it should be? That's because you may not have the right items for it. It's because you may not have the right pilot for it. A lot of the time, those tier lists are depending on a specific item and pilot build. So if you don't have that, it won't perform up to that level. So a lot of this just depends on what you like, what fits your team the best, what you already have copies of. So that's how you do that. Go ahead and do all that research here in the retrofit. You can do it in the sun badge reward list, all of that. I hope this answers you guys' questions. I hope it helps you figure out which mechs to invest in, what's worth your time, without having to waste your resources and build it only to be disappointed. So thank you all for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.